When I was 12 years old, my parents separated. To be precise, my mother left my father for another man and moved to the city. Not long after, my father searched for my mother several times. The last time he returned from the city, he was furious and broke everything in sight. Then he dragged my younger brother and me out and said, "Your mother is dead. From now on, I forbid you to mention her. If either of you does, I'll kill you." That night, I held my 6-year-old brother in my arms and cried silently. In the middle of the night, he sat up and asked, "Sis, is Mom really dead?" "No," I quickly replied. "She's not dead. She's in the city. She'll come back." That night, my father got drunk and cried. From that day on, he drank every night. Sometimes he passed out on the floor, and I couldn't lift him onto the bed. I covered him with a blanket and sat there crying. On nights he didn't drink at home. He went to the market to drink. On those nights, I stayed up, waiting. Sometimes he slept at the market stall. That same year, I had to drop out of school to take care of the house, cook, and look after my brother. My father worked all day. When he came home, he ate dinner with his head down, barely speaking to us. One evening, I couldn't bear it any longer. I grabbed the bottle from his hand and screamed, "Stop drinking, Dad. Please stop." My father opened his eyes and looked at me. Pointing at me, he said, "You ruined my life, and now you're telling me what to do." He stood up, grabbed a broom nearby, and hit me. As he beat me, he cried. Hearing him cry, I couldn't run. I clenched my teeth, knelt on the floor, and took the beating. Late that night, when he passed out, I quietly cleaned up the shattered glass. That night, I dreamed of the happy days when our family was whole. Warm dinners. Mom always picked out the best bites for us. Then I dreamed of her return. Dad met her at the edge of town. She buried her face in his chest and cried. I called out to her and woke up. The house was dark. Only my father's heavy snoring broke the silence. The next evening, after work, as he sat down, my father noticed the bruises on my arm and asked, "What happened to your arm?" I felt an overwhelming sadness. I wanted to shout, "What happened? You did this to me." But seeing his concern, I said, "I was chopping wood. A branch hit my arm. Be more careful next time," he said, and continued eating silently. That night, he drank again. After putting my brother to bed, I buried my face in my pillow and sobbed. One day, while my father was at work, my mother returned. My brother and I ran into her arms, crying, "When will you come back and live with us?" I asked. "I won't be coming back here," she said. "I came to take you both to the city." "What about Dad?" my brother asked. "He's staying," she replied. "Alone?" I asked. "He'll remarry." I lowered my head. After a while, I looked up and asked, "Why won't you live with Dad?" "I can't," she said bitterly. "He would kill me." Hearing that, I was terrified. I remembered his drunken beatings. So that day, we secretly left with her. The first night in the city, my brother slept soundly after a long trip and the joy of new toys. I couldn't sleep, thinking about how Dad would feel when he came home, and we weren't there. When I finally drifted off, I dreamed of him drunk, beating me with a broom. I screamed and woke up. My mother came out and asked, "What's wrong?" "Daddy hit me." "He hits you? Why didn't you tell me?" "No, he doesn't." I quickly denied it, now fully awake. She sighed and returned to her room. I heard a man's voice. "When will you send them back?" "Please let them stay. I want them to go to school," my mother whispered. "I'll try to earn more." "I don't need your money. I need you, not your kids. Please try to understand. If you want to be with them, go live somewhere else. Fine, let them stay for a few more days. Then take them back." I heard my mother cry. Tears streamed down my face too. In those days at her new husband's house, I barely spoke. My brother, too young to understand, played happily with his new toys. One day, our father appeared. I shouted and ran to him. He stared at us for a long time and asked, "Where's your mother?" Before I could answer, she came down the stairs. She froze when she saw him. "What are you doing here?" "I'm taking my kids home. They're mine too. You don't deserve to be their mother." Don't talk about who deserves what. Ask them who they want to stay with. That's their right. My father's face turned pale. He breathed heavily. Well, who do you want to live with? Speak. I looked down. I couldn't meet either of their eyes. I remembered the nights he lay drunk on the cold floor, the gentleness in his voice when he asked, "What happened to your arm?" I bit my lip, turned to my brother, and asked, "Who do you want to stay with?" "With you," he replied, hiding behind me. I saw Dad watching me, waiting. Mom stared at him, daring him. "Well," she said again. Tears fell as I whispered, "Let us go back to our hometown." Late that night, we returned. My brother shouted, "We're home." The house smelled of alcohol and dampness. I cleaned and reorganized everything. That night, Dad didn't drink. His work grew harder. His ox cart couldn't compete with modern vehicles. Then tragedy struck. His ox died. He drowned himself in drink again. Still, every morning he rose early and found work as a porter. With few buses coming through, he did whatever he could to keep us alive. At night, he drank and cursed Mom, often beating me with a broom. I never ran. I'd cover my head and take it. In the morning, he'd go to work as if nothing happened. At dinner, he'd notice my bruises and ask, "What happened to your arm?" I made up excuses. I never wanted to tell him the truth. One time, in a panic, I said, "Twan hit me." Dad slammed his bowl down and yelled, "Why'd you hit your sister? Who bathes you? Who cooks for you? Who sings you to sleep?" My brother burst into tears. He sobbed even in his sleep. Then one day, he hit my wrist hard. It swelled terribly. That night at dinner, I couldn't serve rice. Dad noticed. "What's wrong with your hand?" I burst into tears. I couldn't hold it in. "It hurts so much, Dad." "Who hit you? Tell me. I'll kill him." I sobbed louder, not from pain but from sorrow. His voice was filled with care. "If you don't say, I'll hit you again." "Please don't hit me anymore, Dad." He trembled. His eyes turned red. He held me tightly. I cried harder. "You hit me when you're drunk. But I didn't tell you, because I didn't want to make you sad. If I do something wrong, punish me. But please don't drink anymore." He shuddered. Then he cried, a deep, guttural sob above my head. Toward dawn, I woke up. The lights were still on. Dad was sitting silently. I hugged him and asked, "Did you run out of alcohol?" He shook his head and slowly closed his eyes. 2 tears rolled down. "Please don't be sad anymore, Dad." He turned and held me again. I heard him whisper, "I won't be sad again. With a daughter like you, I'll never be sad again." I snuggled into his chest. That night was the warmest night of my life. I had never felt so close and so safe with my father.